Hey everyone, Stephen, TheSalonGuy here, and happy Thursday. Hope you all are doing great. Now today I've got a tutorial for you, and I've gotten lots of requests for cutting curly hair. Now I've done a haircut kind of like on wavy hair, but this is really, really curly hair. I mean, look at this. This whole thing is really, really tight curls. This is a mannequin from Hair Art Products. I get all my mannequins from hairartproducts.com. It's in the description below. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to cut really curly hair and how to layer it. Now the thing about curly hair is that it shrinks up a lot, especially something this curly and this kinky here. It really, really curls up quite a bit. So you have to make sure that you know what kind of length you want, because if you cut even a half an inch, it's going to really almost shrink up an inch. I mean, it really jumps up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a nice layered shape here and cut some of this off in through the back here. And just give it a nice shape and show you guys how to take on a layered haircut for curly hair. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to establish our length in the back. Now remember, if we cut this to right here, it'll shrink up to about here. If we cut it to here, it'll shrink up to about right here. But since I want to go kind of like a medium length to a little bit more on the shorter side as far as this haircut goes, I'm going to cut the length knowing that it's going to shrink up to about maybe right into here, okay? So first step, establish our guide and our section right here in the base, and we're going to cut it straight across, okay? Now, if you're cutting curly hair for the first time, it's going to react quite differently than straight hair, okay? Because it wants to jump around, it wants to curl up, and especially if you're cutting quite a bit off, it's kind of, now look at, see how much it shrank up? That's pretty wild. That's what curly hair is going to do. So if you are looking to keep length, do not cut it this short. You want to always keep that in mind. The hair will jump up like this, okay? You always want to go back in, double check, hold it straight down, and make sure you're good to go. Next section, we're going to bring this down, and we're going to establish our length one more time in through here. And then we're actually going to be able to start layering the hair. So, and I'm going to try to break this down step by step with you guys, because I know for more of my technical haircuts, you guys want to see, a little more in detail. So our next section here, again, cutting the length, holding it straight across. I've got a pretty good amount of tension here on the bottom, and as you can see, again, it's jumping straight up. Now, right in the corner here, what I'm doing is I am holding it right behind the ear. I'm not overextending this way because I want to maintain the length throughout here. So I'm slightly, not really over directing, but I'm combing it and keeping it straight down like this. Right there, see? I'm not pulling it out this way, because if I do, it's going to kind of round out a little too much and I might cut too much length. So the best thing to do is to keep it straight within this kind of box and through here. The next section is where I want to start to layer the hair. Now, as you can see here, we're ready to kind of go in through the different body positioning and hand positioning, okay? Because now we have our length established, and look what this has done. Already you created a nice shape. See the difference? So if you want to do a one-length haircut on curly hair, that's great. It'll kind of bounce up anyway. You can create a nice solid shape if you want. But I do want to create some layers in through here and create a nice soft layered shape. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick up where I left off on my length. And what I'm going to do is, there's the length right there. I'm going to comb it straight out from the head, and I'm cutting upwards now. All right, I'm literally pulling everything straight out, which is 90 degrees. And as you can see, I'm cutting up, and I'm following the round of the head. This is all literally straight out, okay? And what this is doing, it's going to keep a beautiful, nice shape all the way throughout here. As you can see, it's got a nice flow to it. You can extend it down if you want. Bring it down like this, just to make sure it all does blend in nicely. Even though we didn't really layer the bottom here, it's sometimes a good option if you do want to make sure you remove that weight, okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to push this hair out of the way. You want to make sure you have clean, neat sections in through here. Just keep yourself organized. We're just going to pick up where we left off, combing it straight out and working up the head shape. And as you can see, you're going to follow this pattern, and it makes life a lot easier. Holding it straight up now up here, and again, following the same pattern. So I want you to continue to do this working through this side. And one little trick in through here is when you get to this, just like we kept in this behind the ear here in this box area, all right? What you want to do is you want to pull this straight back this way. Okay, let me show you from the side here. This is what it looks like. Combing it straight back like this. I'm not pulling it out this way because I want to retain that weight in through here to give me some protection so it's not too thin down here and there's no holes or gaps. So continue to do that, and we will pick up when we're done with the back of the head. So I'm done with the back. I just want to show you how beautiful this shape is. And look at this. It's got a beautiful, nice, rounded shape in through here, a really nice, clean base. And this is crucial when you're cutting curly hair, is you have to see, you know, how it's taking shape. And also, you have to cut it to pretty much know it's going to jump up, and you're creating the shape in it while you're cutting. So everything you do, it's going to basically react to it, you know, just like that. So by leaving the length in through here, like we kind of pulled it straight back this way, you know, now we have that extra weight that we need in through here, as you can see, so it's not too thin throughout the bottom. We've got a nice, beautiful shape. Now, just to make sure that everything is, you know, even, you can cross-check simply by pulling everything straight out and comb it, pull it towards you. And you might, again, on this corner here, it's going to be a little bit longer, which is okay because we need that weight in through here. Don't get freaked out when you see that it's like a lot longer. I'm using the wide teeth of the comb as well because I want to, with curly hair, I like to keep it a bit softer and a little bit looser. So I'm using the wide teeth of the comb. But when you do cross-check in through here, you will see it. This is a lot longer. But when you do cross-check, you just want to make sure that your balance is very accurate, because now this is a little bit longer in through here, probably because I've had too much to drink already. No, I'm kidding, I'm kidding. But what you need to do is simply just pull it back, and look, there it is right there. Okay, there's that little corner that needs to come off, all right? And that's why cross-checking is crucial. So just go back in, all right? Fix this up in through here, and now we're ready to move in through the length on the sides. And since we're on a roll, I'm just going to keep going here. I'm not going to stop. So now it's time to connect the back in through the sides and the front, okay? So what I'm doing, as you can see here, I'm combing it straight down. Now here I want to use the fine teeth because I do want to have it a little bit tighter into here because we're creating our base, all right? You want to make sure that you are pulling it down a little bit tighter because you want to make sure that it's not going to shrink up and jump up where it's too much shorter into the sides. So it's always best to have it a little bit longer into the front. Don't be afraid of that. It's actually a little bit better. Okay, there we go. Now what I want to do is I want to angle this upwards this way. I want to create just like a little bit of a face frame. Just a little bit of a face frame to open this up and to give it some softness throughout the front. And how I'm doing that, again, I'm just pulling it straight down like this, angling my fingers upwards, and I'm creating the face frame just like that. And you see how that sprung up like that? That's what curly hair is going to do. But the good thing is here is we have that little protection here because we left it a little bit longer. And there might be a couple little hairs here, and just trim those up, okay? So do the same thing on the other side, and look, see what we did? We left that right in through here, and we've got a nice solid base, strong line in through here, okay? Now do the same thing on the other side, and then we're ready to layer the top. Now it's time to layer the top. And how we're going to do that is we're going to connect this, the back here, with the top, the actual top. So we got the top back and then the actual top of the head. So what we're doing is we're following where we left off. And remember, we pulled everything straight out from the head, keeping it 90 degrees, which basically means it's straight out. Okay, your left elbow. If you drop it down too much, be careful. Don't get lazy. Keep that elbow pretty tight and parallel. Okay? Because if you drop the elbow, you're going to start to create different angles in the head and then the haircut. You want to make sure you stay pretty consistent, because if you go like this, you're going to layer. If you go like this, you're going to build weight and graduation on top of it. This is going to help keep you nice and even. So continue to do this throughout the whole back of the top back of the head here, and we're just going to continue this in through to where we get both sides complete, all right in through the corner. All right, one last section there. Done. Now we're going to go back to the middle, and now we're going to do this the same thing on the other side, okay? There's your guide. We're good. And if I'm going too fast, you can always pause the video and pick up where we're left, pick up where we're left off. Don't be afraid to just pause the video when you're watching these. So now we're working probably one or two more sections, and we're going to continue to follow the same method that we did in through the back, where we're going to just comb it kind of this way, so we're maintaining that weight. Okay, so we're kind of like over directing, and we're pushing away from us, so we keep that weight in through the corners. We don't want to create any holes or any sort of disconnection. So that is done now. Now this is all connected. Now it's time to actually go in through the top, and all you need to do is pick up where we left off on your last section. Now we're going to be cutting in the, you can see here's the front of the head right here. We're going to be cutting basically in this one panel straight back like this. So now we're holding everything straight up, and we're going to leave the corners out. All right, there's the guide right there. Again, your arms, everything's parallel. And we're going to cut it straight across, okay? Now again, be careful with curly hair because it's going to want to bend and take a new shape as you're combing it and as you're cutting it. So take your time, don't rush it. You want to keep those fingers on your nice hands. And one last section in through the front. And we're combing it straight up like this. So it's going to create a little bit of over direction, because when you pull it straight up in the front, it's kind of over directing back, which is fine. Totally fine. Okay? Now, let's keep going. So now what we're going to do is we're going to actually connect the corners, the top into the corners here. Let's start right back here. We're going to pull it straight out from the head. All right? Everything is straight out. Work right towards the bottom section. And there you see what needs to be cut, and let that drop out, okay? Next section, same thing. Straight out. Now my elbow is pointing upwards this way, which is allowing me to layer the hair. And there you go. Last section, we're going to kind of over direct slightly back like this. And there you go. It doesn't matter if you can cut, top, bottom, or work from the bottom and go upwards. It's totally up to you. But sometimes I like to change it up. So here is the last section into this side here. And let me just show you guys how beautiful this looks and what that's done. All right, look at that. See this? Gorgeous. It's got a beautiful curl to it. It's got a beautiful shape, and you really can't go wrong with this, okay? Just ignore this side, even though it looks pretty good, but this is pretty much completely done. And look what a solid base you have here. All right, so continue the same technique, same pattern on the other side, the corner, and then into the side here. And then I'll show you some really cool tricks to adding some additional texture to curly hair before we finish. All right, the haircut is complete in the back, the top. I just want to show you guys how nice this looks. All right, I parted this pretty much down the middle, so you can wear it right down the middle, or you can wear it to the side. But let's just spin this head around here. And look how beautiful that is, okay? There's no lines in it whatsoever. It's not botched up. It's got a beautiful flow to it. And if you follow this pattern, I'm telling you, you cannot go wrong with this. This is a beautiful, classic layered haircut for curly hair. Now, here's where the fun is going to begin. Hopefully you've been having fun so far, but now we're going to add some texture to it. So we're going to take our shears, just a regular shear that we've been cutting with all along. This is a little trick that I do, and it works pretty well. Just if you don't feel comfortable doing it, do not do it. But you've seen some of my videos, I do point cutting, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to just point cut and notch into the hair like this, all right, in different layers and different sections here. I'm working my way up the head, and what I'm doing is I'm just creating little chips into it that helps remove a little bit of weight. It adds some additional texture, okay? I'm not going in deep at all. I'm literally just chipping just on the very tips of it like this here, okay? You can lift the hair up like that a little bit. All right, you see, I'm just working my hands and working around the head shape, okay? Same thing throughout the side here. All right, just kind of notch into it like this. It breaks up the curl a little bit, adds some great dimension to the cut. It really enhances the curl. And this is a great little trick here that I do all the time on curly hair. Even on the top here, you can bring it up like this. And again, when you style it, it really, really enhances everything. Don't forget this side. And it's great if it's a little too heavy too in certain areas. It's also good if you want to just pretend you're showing off. You don't even have to cut hair, you can just do this and the clients are like, wow, this is awesome. So you just want to continue to work throughout the head shape like this, and pretty much you can bring it back like this. You can do a lot with it, you know, just if you don't feel comfortable, you know, practice on a mannequin before you do it on a human, because, you know, you don't want to overdo it. So now the haircut is pretty much complete. As you can see, it's got great shape to it. Now for styling, okay, this is where it gets interesting for styling. With hair this curly, you really don't want to do too much to it. You want to use, you know, a hair cream, some sort of mousse, a gel if you want, you know, more firm curls. But I like to put some sort of cream in it and then really just kind of scrunch the product through to make sure it's evenly distributed, and I'll show you guys how to do that right now. So what I did is I cocktailed two products together, and with whether your hair is straight, whether it's curly, you can cocktail products together. That basically means you're mixing a few different products together. Okay? Now make sure each product is going to do something. All right? Each product has to have a purpose. So use a little curl cream to enhance the curl. Use you know, a styling cream, maybe a light gel, and that's going to help give it a little bit of hold. So what you really want to do is really work this in, and just kind of what I'm doing is I'm raking it down like this. I'm just kind of scrunching it, and I'm trying to, you know, not disrupt the curl too much. But this is the only way to really get product through, is you really have to work it through. But I'm not brushing it, because you really do not want to do that. You don't want to create a frizzy mess with this, all right? So just really scrunch it in, and the more you scrunch it, the curl is going to lift up, okay? So you have one of two options. Me personally, I like to dry it just a little bit with a diffuser, but barely, you know, you just want to hold that diffuser, and I'll show you in a second. Or you can leave it as is. And if you leave it as is, you let it air dry, and it'll dry just like this. It might shrink up a little bit, but it's got a beautiful natural look. And I don't like to mess with curly hair too much. But let me show you guys what a diffuser looks like and how I would dry this if I were using one. This is a diffuser, okay? It's just like a nozzle. It comes right off, and depending what dryer you're using, they make their own that just snaps right on, okay? So what you want to do is use low heat. And with a diffuser, what you're basically going to do is you don't want to touch it too much. Okay, if anything, you want to just give it a squeeze and then put the hair in the diffuser like this and let it sit there, okay? Just be careful, you don't want to, you know, get it too hot on her scalp, because you could burn the person, but you do not want to shake the hair, you don't want to disrupt the curl. You want to really be very gentle, very soft with this, and let the natural curl do all the work, okay? And keep the dryer on, this is a lower setting, like a lower setting right here, all right? And you're just going to do this, and really just let the diffuser do what it's got to do. Okay? Do not disrupt the curl, and just let the natural curl come out. Let your beautiful haircut do all the work. All right? And I always like to leave it, you know, a little bit damp as well. I don't usually fully dry it. And then you can finish it off with a little bit of hairspray or spray gel. I usually prefer a spray gel on curly hair, or nothing at all, just whatever you put in it. All right, and as you can see, look at how beautiful this is. It's got a beautiful shape to it. Then you can work the curl in, you can work the whole shape, and really, you know, you do a great haircut, and the haircut will speak for itself. Well, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I had a lot of fun doing it, and as you know, on my Thursday videos, it's geared more towards, you know, professionals and people that are really learning how to cut hair, so it's great for students. And you know, I know a lot of students watch my videos, and I really appreciate it. Guys, I just broke 70,000 subscribers, which is amazing, so I can't thank you enough for all the support, all the love. If you liked the video, please let me know if this has really helped you. It means a lot to me. Hey, send me pictures. Do the haircuts, tweet them to me, Instagram, tag me at TheSalonGuy. All my social media is at TheSalonGuy. I'd love to see your work and how I'm helping you all. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for more tutorials with TheSalonGuy.